Hello and welcome to another video from me, Rough Swordsman Wargamer. This time we're doing a playthrough of Panzer, designed by James M. Day and published by GMT Games. And we're starting off with the base game. So it's going to be operations on the Eastern Front, 1943 to 44. So I'm going to try scenario number 1, the crossings, Ukraine, late 1943. And the situation says this is a race to capture the only 3 crossings over a key water passage. Will the Germans stem the Soviet advance, or will they push the Germans aside and march on to relieve Kharkov? Goes on to say this scenario is designed for play after reviewing just the basic rules, but we're going to be trying advanced and optional rules, and it continues. Advanced and optional game rules are also included to maintain a consistent scenario format and to enable players to also utilise those rules with just vehicles. So that's what we're planning to do. Here's the map. We're using just part of the map that's included in the base game. Special conditions: when determining the initiative, no force grade modifiers apply. The stream is impassable except at the bridges or ford hexes. If special ammo types are available, utilise ammo limits, which we'll be doing if we need to. If morale rules are in effect, utilise the listed point information. And we'll be trying those as well. And these are what they're referring to here. The cohesion points, 6 for the Soviets, 7 for the Germans. The morale is excellent anyway. We won't be using hidden unit rules because we're playing solo, but we will be using the command span rules. And all command HQs have a command span of 10 hexes. So we've got normal visibility, no adverse terrain. And here are the forces involved for the Soviets. There are 10 units. And this is a good one to start with. They're all the same. And these are all T-3476s with 1 command tank. And the Germans have 11 units. And these are all Panzer IV-Gs, again with 1 command tank. So it says both forces roll a d10. The force rolling the lower number must set up first. If it's a tie, the Soviets set up. So let's do that. So this scenario is 15 turns, and I've put a little block there to remind me, and a note of the Soviet and German morale and cohesion points. The 3 objectives are the 2 bridges here and the ford in the middle. There we go. So we'll throw a d10 for each side and see who's going to set up first. Black for the Germans, red for the Soviets. Looks like the Soviets, 10 for the Germans, 8 for the Soviets, so they're going to set up first, but they can pick which side of the map they're coming in on. So the forces will be coming on either side of this stream within 2 hexes of the edges. So let's have a quick look at the map and see what's going on terrain-wise. This side of the map, we've got a big hill and a smaller bunch of hills there with a town and some light woods. On this side, we've got dotted hills, a gully. Its prominent hill is here, but set rather far back, and woods, scrub and rough terrain here, and some light woods up the top. So for the Soviets, who are setting up first and choosing which side of the map they want to come on, we can see from their data card, I hope, that they need to get in quite close to get a good amount of penetration, whereas the Germans can stay back, and if they do get up close, it's going to sting the Soviets a bit. So I think the tactics maybe for this scenario is that the Soviets will try and get as close as possible before firing, whereas the Germans are going to be holding back and picking off the Soviets from a distance. So from that point of view, maybe we'll have the Soviets come in from this side of the map. Now, again, the caveat with my videos, as always, my tactics may be different to yours. So you will play this game completely different. And also, I'm bound to make some little misplays. If I do, by the way, let me know, because that'll help everybody, including myself, because I am using some advanced and optional rules. Right, the Soviets have 10 units, which I'm going to split into 3 platoons of 3 tanks each. And here is their command tank with the red disc on it. So where are we going to put those? Well, let's take the command tank. It's got to be within 2 hexes of this edge here. So I think we'll put the command tank there. We'll put 1 platoon up here, in case they want to scoot down to this victory point marker. We could place a platoon on top of hill A12 here, because that is 2 levels above the ground. But as I said, they've got to get in closer to try and pick off the German panzers. So maybe this hill here might be a better objective for that platoon. So we're going to pop that one here. And the 3rd platoon in the woods here. There we are. That's the Soviets. And for the Germans, we're going to have 2 platoons of 3 tanks and another platoon split into 2 sections of 2 tanks each. So I think we'll put the command tank here so it can move up and be guarded by that hill with the rough terrain on it. We'll take one of these platoons and we're going to pop it there. Its job is to move up on top of that hill. We'll have another platoon here, moving into the town. Don't think they can be seen. No, the hill's in the way there. And these 2 tank sections, we'll have one here, I think. We'll put one here in case they want to scoot along the path and see what's up ahead. There we are. For better or worse, we've placed our units. So we're ready to start. And the first phase in the sequence of play is the spotting phase. But I think for this one, everybody is hidden. So for the first turn, it'll just be move commands. What I'm going to do, though, is use a little thing that one of the subscribers to our Tack Up Wargame Facebook page says he does when he plays solo, is he throws to see who puts their commands down first. And I'm thinking, yes, I can use that. The side that puts their commands on first gives the other side a slight advantage for playing solo. You wouldn't do this playing face to face. And the way I explain it away is that the side that doesn't place their commands first has better intelligence at that moment, maybe some forward observers observing what the enemy are doing and relaying it back to the command tank. But that's what we're going to be doing. But before that, let's see how many commands they are going to get. Now, in the basic game, every unit gets a command. In this game, we're using the advanced available commands table. And what we're going to do is count up how many tanks there are that are eligible for commands. So for the Soviets, of course, we haven't started. They have 10. They are seasoned. So we look on this table here, seasoned. There are 10. So the Soviets get 6 commands. The Germans, though, have 11. So what we do here is we've got the 10 seasoned, so that's 6. We go over to the 1, But we can see nothing. So they get 6 as well for their 11 tanks. And every time we do this, of course, we would check that all our tanks are in a 10 hex range of the command tanks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, yes. And this is, of course, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's fine, and so is that. Because any tanks out of command range will limit the amount of move commands they can have that turn. So 6 each. And what I would do is utilize that little ploy. Whoever throws the lowest puts their commands first, so it would be the Germans. And as I said earlier, it doesn't really matter because I think they're going to be moving in a bit closer. So it's just going to be move commands. So 1 for that. Oops. 1 for that one. We'll move in the command tank or the HQ tank as well. There we are. So they've used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're fine. And now the Soviets, they're going to do the same. There we go. Next, it's the initiative phase. And the side that wins this can choose between firing first, moving second, or firing second and moving first. So the coloured die is the 10s, the white die the units. So for the Germans, they get 97. And the Soviets, 55. So Germans win the initiative. And they're going to be the first player. So they will move second. There's no firing going on in this turn. So the Soviets are going to move first. So we'll start here. Now, I think I mentioned it in my unboxing, but quickly, it's very simple to see. I hope that's in focus. This is the movement allowance on the sort of terrain. The T is tracked. It's a tracked vehicle. 8 on the paths, which are these things. And 12 movement allowance on roads, which you can just see, I think, up here. None on this map. So they have movement allowance of 5. So we're going to go 1 turn. You can turn a 60-degree turn every time you enter a hex at the start or beginning. 2. We're going uphill, so that's a +1 into clear. 3, 4, 5. I think that's right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. And we pop a move spot on it, and that's done. This one, the command tank. We're going to be moving it, I think, behind this hill to keep it safe. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's done. For now, I think we'll move this tank up into this hex, which is light woods. But I don't want to go through the woods because A, it costs a lot. For light woods, it will cost 2 movement points. But also, we're using the bogging down rule. So every time you move into another one of those hexes, you're going to check for bog down. So we won't do that. What we'll do instead, go this way, I think. I know we're going on the path, but we're not going to use the path allowance. So 1, 2, then we're going to move in, and that's 2, 3, 4. Now we don't check for bogging down when we move into one of those hexes. We will check when we move out or into another one, and then turn like that, I think. And a move spot for them. And this last platoon, I think, will try and get up onto one of these level 2 hills to protect this and this from the Germans taking them. So, actually do it there. We can turn it before we move. 1, 2, 3. This one or this one? 4. That's all they can do. They can't get up the hill with the amount of movement points they've got left. And that's the Soviets done. The idea behind this, I'm thinking, is that this platoon can maybe sit there on overwatch in case anything trundles up the path there. The command HQ is hiding behind the hill, nice and safe. This one's going to try and get up and maybe do a bit of overwatch or just fire if something comes in range. And these are creeping up to see what's up the path there and having a look to see what they can do about that bridge. Okay, the Germans. Germans can't move as fast. Only 4 movement points. We've also got this -5 in a white box, and I believe that is the modifier we have to add to the die roll when they are checking for bogging down, but it is on their data card as well. So into the town, 1, 2, 3, 4, and they're going to stop there just to see what's occurring. The command tank, just like the Soviet tank, is going to move to cover behind this hill terrain. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's snuggling into those hills. And that gets a move spot. This one up here, I'm going to try, oops, as I say, get up that group of hills there. Won't be able to do it this turn, of course, but 1, 2. So it's going to cost 1 to go up the slope of the hill. Here's the slope. And 1 to enter the clear terrain of that hill. 3, 4. That's them. Oops. It is a bit fiddly, this game. But hey ho. Now this one here, this platoon here, could come round up the hill this way or that way. I think it looks like there are going to be more Soviets in this part of the map. Hopefully the Germans have got those to take care of any encroachments on this VP hex and these as well. So I think we'll move this one sort of round this way. 1, 2. Now that is shell holes, I think. Put that there. Yeah, shell hole. And that, we can see it, will cost a tracked vehicle 2 movement points. So we might want to skirt that and go 3, 4. And lastly, now, we could be very brave and trundle up the road, but then this thing is going to go, thank you very much. It'll end up here, and that's 13 away. And the T-34 have a penetration at 13 hexes of 15, which is still quite nasty. So I think we'll move them across country. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Turn. So their flank is protected by that hill. Let's see what the Germans do next time. But for now, that's it. Everybody has executed their commands. There was, of course, no firing in that turn. So now we have the adjustment phase. A lot of these won't apply, like the air phases. We're not doing that yet. And the indirect fire. And there's no infantry. So when we do the adjustment step, the pivot step is for foot and towed units, I believe. Adjust turret step. We're not using the turrets only because they're a bit fiddly when you're videoing. I do use them when I'm not videoing it. So we're not doing that. The tanks can move their turrets to shoot in a 360-degree circle. Full cover is infantry. No suppression, which we will be using. Morale, no. Adjust, remove counter steps. That's things like hesitation, braking and suppression, which we'll try and use as the game dictates. And then we are at the end turn step. We're ready for turn 2. So we'll be right back for that. Before we move on to turn 2, as I mentioned earlier in the video, I forgot to check these tanks for bogging down because they left this woods hex. And on the terrain chart, here are the woods, and the bogging down is 1 to 20. So 20% or less, they will bog down. So let's do the first one. There's 3 tanks in that stack. So the top one, 73, no, that's fine. One in the middle. That's fine as well. And the bottom tank, 69. They're all okay. So, as we were. Okay, turn 2. First thing is the spotting phase. So the spotting phase, we've got to see who can spot who. Now there is a default spotting range for vehicles of 20 hexes, as you can see here, but there are some modifiers. So let's get rid of the ones that can't be seen first. This stack can't be seen, they're behind those hills. The German command tank can't be seen. And the same applies for the Soviet command tank. And these behind the hill, I think, yes, they're all blocked. What about those? Well, 20 hexes. Let's check. They have line of sight there. Nothing. Oh, just, yes, I think it's clearing that there. We'll say yes. And how far away? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So the Soviets can see the Germans, but let's just check for the Germans whether or not they can see the Soviets. Starts at 20. The Soviets are in light woods, and that gives light cover. So it comes down 1. So there's only a 10 hex range. At the moment they can't see them, but they have moved. So that comes up 2 again. So actually there's a 30 hex range they've got, so they can definitely see each other. What about these down here? Well, once again, I think we check. Yeah, those woods aren't in the way. So there's line of sight, and the distance is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So the Germans can definitely see the Soviets up on the hill, but they're in wood buildings. Yes, wood buildings. And wood buildings again have a light cover. So down 1 we come, but they've moved as well. So again, back up. Yes, they can be seen as well. What about these? Let's have a look. No, those woods are in the way here, so no, they can't be seen. That hopefully is the spotting phase, if I've done it right. We now move on to the command phase and determine how many commands they get. But we'll just check to make sure everybody is in command range of their HQ tank. So they're okay. What about this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 just. And again, these are okay, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Only just. So once again, just like the previous turn, as nothing has been destroyed yet, we've got 6 for the Soviets and 6 commands for the Germans. Now, look at this. I think we'll have a bit of firing. So let's see who's going to place their commands first. Remember, the lowest dice loses and has to do it first. Soviets again. So I think for the command tank, the Soviets, that's easy enough, will have a no command, which I believe, if I'm correct, don't count towards the 6 commands. These are going to fire. These are going to fire. Those tanks here are going to go up the hill. Right. For the Germans, I was thinking of putting a short halt here so it could fire and then move and maybe get into these shell hole hexes. But it does mean then that there'll be only 10 hexes away if the Soviets get the initiative. So I think we'll just fire. And these will fire as well. And the rest I think will move. So, excuse me. There we are. Okay, next is the initiative phase. So the Germans, 60. Whoops. There we go, 60. And the Soviets, 77. The Soviets have it. So that stays as it is. I remembered this time. And the Soviets are going to fire first. They're going to be the first player, so they will fire first. So let's try this one. So what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And 12 is medium. 10 to 13 is medium. Penetration of 15. Let's see if they're successful. So they're at medium range, which gives them 50%. The target was moving. So that's a -2. We're down to 40. It's in light cover. That's another one, 35%. I think that's it. Doesn't seem much of a chance, but we'll give it a go. So we've got 3 tanks here and 3 tanks here. We'll have the top tank fire at the top tank, middle at middle, bottom at bottom. Target size, incidentally, for both tanks, I don't think I mentioned it, is 0, so it doesn't affect that. So, 35% or less, come on. 71, no. Middle tank of the Soviets. 84, no. Bottom tank. 47, it's a complete miss. This is what I said earlier, they've got to get in close. But will they pay dearly for that mistake? So next we've got these firing at these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Again, it's medium range. So a 15 penetration if successful. But let's see if they do it first. So we're here. Target size is nothing. Target was moving. So that's a -2. They're not in any cover though, they're out in the open. So a bit better, 40%. I think we've only got 2 tanks in this stack. And 3 for the Soviets, so we'll have the top 2 fire at the top tank, the bottom tank fire at the bottom tank. 40% this time. No! Middle tank. No, no, oh dear. And the bottom tank. 42, no. So again, missed. And I forgot to move that round first to the fire. Naughty me. And we'll do the same with this one. And have completely missed again. That's it for firing for the Soviets. It's now the Germans' turn to fire. And they're going to have a go back. So what did we say? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now, look at this. 18 if they hit. Again, they're on the 50. Nothing for target size. The target has fired, so no. Oh dear. They're not in cover. They're firing uphill. So it looks like they're on 50%. So what have we got? We've got the 3 tanks. We'll do our usual 1-on-1. Top, middle and bottom. Top tank against top tank. They only go and hit 32%. They've hit with an 18 penetration. Where are they hitting? They are firing uphill, so to speak. They're on top of one. But it is the front arc, so let's see. 1. That is turret front. This, I think, is falling shots only, yes. So they've hit the turret at the front. So 18 penetration. Turret front 18. So we are using the variable armor piercing penetration, this table here, which can make a difference. What we'll do now, the Germans will throw 2 dice and we'll look here. The penetration is 18, so we're going to use this row here. The numbers in brackets we take away. The numbers that aren't in brackets we add on to the penetration. Oh, it's a 9 and a 10. A 9 will add on 2, and a 10 will add on another 2, but here we can only add a maximum of 3, or take away a maximum of 3. So we add 3 on, that's 21. That's more than the armour on the turret front of the T-34. Let's see what damage they do. We're now going to throw a die and look on here to see what damage. 2. Oh no. Oh, it's damaged. But as we did the turret is damaged. Just about to put the damage on the tank there, and my phone cut out, so sorry. But we are going to put that with that facing forward on the tank to show that its turret is damaged. Whoops. And that will affect its shooting abilities next turn. Okay. Firing at the middle tank. 50%. Look at that, 5. Oh dear. Where are they hitting the tank this time? That's a 5, it's the front. This time it's the whole front for the middle tank. But I think the Soviets have got away with it because their armour with a rising shot at the hull front is 24. The Germans can only muster 18. And with the +3 from the variable armour-piercing penetration table, that's only going to get to 21. So no, it bounced off. And by the way, I think the rules say when you throw to see where it hits, you throw the damage die as well. I don't like to do that. I like to keep myself in suspense. But in case you're wondering why that's not happening, that's why. So, the bottom tank. %40 hits again. Now we need another turret hit, I think. Otherwise, it's not going to do any good. We get a 9, though. What's that? No, that's the whole front again. The little asterisk is if it's partially hull down. It's not. I don't think it's going to penetrate. So 18 and a rising shot, 24. No. Again, with +3, it's not going to do anything. So we've got one tank at least. And now we'll do these. So I'll move that down there. Hope you can see that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 again. That's medium. Good old 18 penetration. So 50%. Nothing here, but they are in light cover. So it comes down to 45. Don't think there's anything else. So 45%. Only 2 tanks in the German stack. I think there's only 2 in this one. Yep. So top tank, and the bottom tank, middle tank. 45%. 53, no. And the other tank. 47. No, we wanted 45. They've missed. And have fired. And that's all the firing out the way. So next it's the movement. The movement is the second player going first. So the Germans are moving first. So this one here is going to move up this hill. So it's 1, 2 to get here. And then it's another +1 to get over that sort of crest. 3, I think. So 1, 2, 3, 4, I think. But he's there anyway. And a move spot for you. This one's going to try and get up here. Sorry about that, moving things I shouldn't be. Now this, I want to move up here, but to get up there is going to cost 2, if it was a hill, but the rough is another 4. Haven't got enough movement points to move up there, but the rules do say a vehicle may always move just 1 hex during its move if it has a move or short halt command, even if the cost of moving 1 hex exceeds the vehicle's available movement speed allowance. So it can move 1 hex, otherwise it would never be able to get up there. So that's going up there. That goes on there, whoops, like that. This one, I think we'll move it into these shell holes here. That'll give light cover at least, and he's a little bit nearer these. Whoops. There we go. Plop. That's it. It's just the Soviets to move. This isn't moving, so we'll take this off. And this is going to move up 2 levels. So it's 1 over the crest, 2, 3 to get there, I think. But you'll let me know if that's not right. And they get a move spot as well. Right, that's it, I think. We're on the adjustment phase. There are no air phases. We're not using aircraft yet. Pivot step, I think, is to do with infantry and towed vehicles. We're not using turrets. Full cover again, infantry. Nothing has got suppressed or their morale is affected. We don't remove any of those counters. So that's it. That's the end of the turn. We'll move it up to turn 3. No casualties yet. But I think we'll leave it there and we'll see what happens next time. Both sides are sort of manoeuvring to try and get the best positions. Maybe we'll see some casualties next time. And I hope I didn't make any misplays there. If I did, let me know, because it will help myself and others who want to play the game. But I am enjoying myself, and that's the main thing, I think. But I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, and you haven't done so already, it would be great if you would consider subscribing to the channel. It really does help. Pushing the like button of the video, the thumbs up, helps as well. And if you want to be informed of other content the channel uploads, then push the bell. Leave a comment. As I said earlier, if I made any daft mistakes, let me know. But that aside, what do you think? I'm enjoying myself with this game, but let me know. I love to read them. Thanks as always to my subscribers. Thank you very much. And just before I go, if you wish to support the channel a little bit further, well, now you can buy the channel a coffee. And those coffees go towards maintaining the channel and helping it to continue to upload new content. If you want to check that out, I'll leave a link in the description. And thank you. So, let's see what happens next time. But until then, as always, you take care and goodbye.